Welcome back to Podcast Recovery, everyone.
Thanks for sharing, David. Thanks for sharing.
It's still
an
Podcast
extension.
Recovery.
It's an extension of Podcast Recovery.
You're coming in hostile.
I'm coming in hot.
You're coming in
I'm
hot.
coming in hot.
This is a fucking maverick flyby right now.
It's an extension of
uncalled for.
Podcast Recovery called Thanks for Sharing. Yes, it is in the Podcast Recovery feed.
It's still Podcast Recovery.
Yes, it is.
That's like saying you work in research and development for Raccoon Corp. Like you're still under the umbrella of Raccoon fucking City. You know?
Are you talking about Resident Evil right now?
Yeah, that was Resident Evil reference.
Yeah, no, I got it.
That was good.
Real shit movies, which is a shame.
I
feel like they could do
the
better.
First one was pretty
the first
good.
one was fine.
Yeah, the first one was
fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could have done a lot.
Nemesis wasn't so bad.
It just got really bad.
Oh, they got bad.
Really bad.
And I love Mia Jovovich. And
Yeah, she's great. I mean, Fifth Element.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about that movie the other day.
You know, that was the first movie she ever starred in.
Well, she was great.
Yeah, she killed it.
She was great.
Yeah, she killed it. Well, no, she was in Return to the Blue Lagoon a little bit before that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, you get to see her boobies, which is always nice. Anyway.
Wow, David.
Anyway.
I like that you called them boobies.
I did.
Where are you there?
I'm
you back at pre-adolescence? Pre-adolescence?
Yeah.
David?
Sometimes you gotta call them boobies. It's okay. Anyway. Thanks for sharing.
A lot of judgment is coming.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. That's our episode. Have a good night. Thanks for sharing me bitch movies.
Do you want to go first? I actually have something to share today, but I know you have something to share today as well. So would you like to go first?
You've always had something to share.
I have like something, something
really,
to share.
Really, like topical. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure, I'll share. I'll go straight for the meat and potatoes of it. This past weekend, I was left out of a very important event in my friend's life. It was a bachelor party for him, and he was the best man at my wedding. I'm supposed to officiate his wedding, and I did not even receive an invite to his bachelor party, and they went out of state and seemingly had a great time, which I'm genuinely happy about. I'm glad they had a good time. Like, that's ultimately what's most important. But as it pertains to me, I developed a lot of anger and resentment towards two of the guys that were both in my wedding party. One of them was my best man. The other one was one of my groomsmen. And I felt a great lack of consideration for me. And like, it's not about me. I understand that. It was never about me. What I'm focused on is I didn't have the opportunity to share like a once in a lifetime experience with my friend, like one of my best friends. He's been one of my best friends for the last 17 years of my life. And it's gone. Like, I felt like I was robbed of something just because like they were going like skiing and snowboarding, and like I'm not a big skier or snowboarder, but like I would have just liked the opportunity to have been there. Like, because they were going to do other shit. Like, they obviously, like, went out to dinner or had breakfast. Like, they did other shit but skiing and snowboarding.
They ate.
Yeah, they ate. They ate.
I like
they ate food.
I like that you were like, they went out to dinner. They went out to breakfast.
Yeah,
like, you know.
Well, those are the things, like, would I have skied or snowboarded? Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
Like, maybe not, honestly. Like, I might have one day. But, like, I would have found, like, some hiking trails. There's shit to do.
You talked to your sponsor about this, obviously, because you did say it's not about me. And I feel like that would be like what Herb would say to you is like, it's really not about...
Dude, I said that from the very beginning.
Whoa, getting hostile over there, bud. What's going on?
You're throwing shade like, oh, I just now came to this realization. No,
I'm not throwing shade.
I had that realization from the beginning, and you know that. Because yeah, it was on a Sunday, and now it's shit. Yeah, it was last Sunday when I developed the resentments.
You were here.
Yeah, I was here. Yeah. I was very heated. I came in very hot. But in this last week, like the best thing I did was I did not act out on my aggression or anger or resentment in any way. I didn't say anything that I would later regret, at least not to either of them. I said it to myself, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. So there's no burned bridges or anything. I haven't confronted them yet, but that's right around the corner because I'm to that point where I'm like, no, I don't. Because at first, I think there's a different type of. I'm going to make it an analogy to the grieving process because I think it's similar, but like with a different emotion. Like obviously it's not sadness and grief and loss, but it's fucking anger. And you need to process that differently. So there was a process where like even if they had called me that moment, I wouldn't have fucking answered the phone. I would have been like, fuck you. I don't feel like talking to you right now because I was not in a mental or emotional state to be able to control what I would have said. So I could have burned a bridge. I could have said those things that I later would have regretted. And like once they're said, you can't unsay them.
That's true.
Like you're fucked. You're done. You said it. That's what you did. Now you have to live with it and deal with those consequences. And Herb just he reiterated what he's reiterated throughout my recovery is like, are you prepared for the consequences? Like, don't do anything if you're not prepared for the consequences. But I'm getting to the point where I think I can healthily express myself and like my frustration and anger and resentment about it and work towards a resolution of some sort, which ultimately is just going to be on my end because there's nothing that can be done about it. It's just going to be about me coming to a level of acceptance that they sort of fucked off and were inconsiderate dicks of like my feelings, like, and I have to learn to be okay with that and take that into account moving forward because they're not friendships I want to get rid of because of this, but it's something that like needs to be talked about. They need to be made aware of it. And it's like, yeah, fuck you guys. But also like this isn't the end, but just remember like, I acceptance and forgiveness is basically like what I'm going to have to come to.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Think
so it's more about my own well-being than theirs because like we've talked about it, I don't think they have a psychological or emotional attachment to the situation.
No.
Knowing
both of them, I don't think they're even thinking about this at all.
No, it's probably not affecting them at all. Which is like that's been the case with like a lot of my resentments throughout life. Like I get fucking like super hurt and the other person's like, "What? Oh, I don't care." And it's like, "Oh, that kind of hurts even worse." But I've dealt with it before, so I can deal with it now. And
limiting your expectations of others.
Oh God, yeah, Herb said that 100%. He was like, maybe with them you got to lower the bar.
I mean, to be fair, I could feel similar feelings that you're feeling right now about this situation, but I don't because I just don't have the expectation that they would. I think because it's very simple. Do you snowboard and ski?
No.
Then you're not invited. And that's where it ends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it goes into this whole, like, well, how is their feelings going to be affected? Like, I don't think it gets that in depth, man.
I know.
You know?
And I'm a feelings guy. You know that.
You are. I think, and I think it'd be funny. I think a lot of people would probably think, like, our looks would be different in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you would be the one who's, like, my personality and being, like, hard and, like, cold and, like, like...
Anybody who like obviously you can't see us, like Eric's a bit more I'd say trendy and borderline hipster appearance wise. I think you'd agree with that.
I mean, I'm wearing like pinstripe gray, like sweat dress pants right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you're definitely more trendy, hipsterish appearing. So you look like a more sensitive guy, and I'm covered in tattoos, wearing blue jeans and Chucks. I look like I would be the hard exterior kind of turd.
Completely the opposite.
Completely the opposite.
Completely.
I am all up in the feels. I cry. Eric does not.
Put the Notebook on, and David's gonna be a fucking waterfall.
That's not my movie.
I know, but I'm giving an example.
Yes, exactly. But
Example.
I cry at movies, 100%. I'm a crier, and Eric is not.
I think limit the expectations.
Yep.
You know, I think it's hard to do.
Oh yeah,
But
it's
you know, people are always gonna fuck up.
Oh well, yeah.
They're never gonna meet your expectations. So keeping them low, you should be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What do you got, buddy?
So I don't think I've really told you about this.
No, you've been saving it for like. Thanks for sharing. So I'm like, ooh, this is probably.
Well, there will probably be an update within like the next few weeks, but like I'll do this part now. So I created like essentially a role within my company and proposed it to my boss. Right. So it's like this. It's like a management role. And I proposed it to my boss and was like, this is a role I would like to do. And she was like, this is great. Like, yeah, I think this is a great role and like definitely works for you and blah, blah, blah. So I did this back in like October, November. And I was under the assumption, you know, from my boss being like, yeah, this is yours, that eventually I would get it. So before I went on vacation, it had been a few months and I was getting antsy and I was like, you know, maybe I don't even want this role. Maybe I want to do something else. Like, which I'm open to other things too. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not one of those people. And like, this is definitely bad in kind of like most bosses' eyes. But in my opinion, I don't think it's bad. I don't know what the fuck I want to do. And I'm open to anything. Like, I'm not like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know what that means. So essentially what happened is I was like, look, I want to apply for like other positions. Like if this job does open up, I'm definitely interested, but like, you know, I'm ready to like take on a new challenge and move on. Like, will you support me? And she's like, yeah, of course. So I go on vacation like the week later in Disney and I get like an email saying like another one of my peers got the role. And I was like, what the fuck?
A role you created?
The role I created. Now, this could really just be like an HR thing because, you know, so I was pissed. And then another role that I had interviewed for got filled while I was on vacation. So while I was in Disney World, the role I created got filled by someone who had been working in the same job as me for a year less. And another role that I had an interview for, which sounded promising, got filled. So I was like, this sucks. So I talked to my boss when I got back.
At least you're in Disney World, right?
There was that.
Yeah, you were like, okay, I'm in Disney World.
I talked to my boss when I got back, and she was like, just kind of telling me why he was, you know, just so great and the right candidate and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I was kind of like down for like a week, and instead of reaching out to her right away, I waited because I was angry.
Yeah.
And I was sad, and I don't want to say anything like you with, you know, our friends. Like, I don't want to say anything that I'm going to regret. So I set up a meeting with her about a career discussion. Because it's like, you know, I don't fucking want to, you know, if I'm just going to be stuck in this role, like maybe I need to like do something like make a lateral move to another position, or I need to like apply to like keep applying. So I talked to her, and I mean, I'll update on this like in the podcast probably in like a few weeks, but this really might just be an HR move where, because he might be actually moving out of this role in like 2 weeks to another role. So it really just might be like a double promotion to get him more money so he doesn't leave. Okay. But nonetheless, my feelings aren't like, yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You're sort of lost in the mire right now.
Yeah, because she was like, I mean, I pretty much asked her. I wrote down 5 questions I wanted answered. Like, you know, I was like, am I at my ceiling with under you? Like, is there like, what can I do? And you know, I mean, so apparently, if everything works out the way it's supposed to work out, I'll be getting this role in a matter of 2 weeks. So essentially, this person has this role for a month that I created, and it's like, why? And the only reason I can think of why this even happened is HR related, because it doesn't really make any fucking sense unless it's an HR like loophole that they did to get him more money.
Yeah, instead of being able to like give him 2 bumps up, they did like a 1 bump and then another bump. And then another quick 1 bump.
So
that makes sense.
Because it doesn't, but like, you know, my feelings aren't taken into account, right?
Yeah.
In this, it's kind of like whatever. So I was not happy. I'm still not happy.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to take away from this is humility. And one of the reasons, the main reason my boss said, one of the problems is I don't work in the office, and he works in the office. So he has the relationships with the other people that I don't have, and I need to start going into the office more. So like that's a discussion I have to have. Of course, the office is 1,500 miles away. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and travel a little bit more. But, like...
What? Where's the fucking office?
In Chicago.
Oh, shit.
Well, that office, that's the office I would want to go into.
Oh, okay.
I would just, you know, try to go in, like, every few weweeks.
There's no local office or anything?
There is, but I don't care about that. I want to go to that office.
Okay.
Because that's where my peers are. But... I guess it's hard to think like...
Does he live in Chicago?
Yeah. So all that, there is an advantage that he's in Chicago, I'm not, right? So there is that. But when the job's kind of promised to you, you create the job, you show the job, like, it's kind of like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. So what I'm trying to take away is humility and like being humble and like, you know, this was a bump in the road, right? Yeah. And it's fucking hard to do that, but like that's the only way I can look at it, because if I get angry and I get sad and I like get all these like feelings, then nothing is actually productive is going to happen from this. One of the questions I asked my boss, the first fucking question was, why did I not get the job? Yeah. You know? Like, I don't give a fuck why he got the job. I don't fucking care at all. Why did I not get the job? How do I get better to like get the next job? Yeah. And like those are like hard recovery questions. Like where if you're an active addiction, like if I was an active addiction, either I would be like, fuck you. Yeah. Like, I would like quit and not like, then what? Where am I at if I quit? Yep. You know what I mean? Like being able to like, and even when I talked to her originally and she's telling me how great the other candidate was, and like not telling me why. Oh, you were probably on fire on the inside. I was seething. I was like fuming. I was so fucking pissed. Oh yeah. And like, but whatever. I mean, whatever. I think. What do I take away from it? Because I know one of the other things is, and this kind of goes back to like, you know, we were just talking to Freddie, and you know, probably this doesn't line up to when we talk with Freddie, but Freddie will be on in a few months, probably after this comes out. But, you know, he's talking about the mental health thing. Mm-hmm. I think me getting off my meds in like back in the day was like a bad choice. And like, because one of the things that, you know, my boss says, like, you don't talk. And like, I don't talk. I'm reserved. I have social anxiety. Mm-hmm. But now that my meds are starting to kick in again, like my mental health meds, like I'm starting to kind of like not be as socially anxious. Mm-hmm. So that might be a benefit that, you know, besides just the IBS benefits, that might be another benefit where I'm not going to have extreme anxiety when I'm in a room with people. Yeah. But that was really the only thing that she could say was, you need to talk more. And I was like, okay, well, everything else I'm pretty good at. So I just need to like force myself to speak. Cool. Yeah. That's hard. But if I go to the office, then I can actually build relationships with people and I won't feel as weird being like, hey,
Yeah.
No, we don't talk, but now we do talk. So cool.
I don't think you've ever been weird around me. I've never felt any sort of like weirdness or reserve.
With social anxiety, but I know you and we deal with each other in small group settings.
That's true.
Like, look at me at a big meeting.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you are very much in the corner and you don't want to like touch or make eye contact with anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's just different I'm very good in small groups.
Yeah.
In large groups, I get overwhelmed and I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
That's why like I don't go to like the New Year's parties or anything anymore because I'm just like, this is fucking awful. Like, I don't like this. I don't like being crammed in like with all these fucking people I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I have to make small talk to get to know you. Fuck that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're coming into our mid-30s. There's a stand-up comedian, Tom Segura, where he's like, I'm at a point in my life where I don't need any more people, and it's okay when people come up and try to have that small talk to just be like, no, all friended up. We're good. We're good here. We don't have to do this.
No, but humility, and trying to learn how to get better, because I can take that situation of not getting what I want and turn it into resentment and hatred and anger.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not a healthy way to live my life today.
Yeah. And sort of relating to like my scenario is that I kind of immediately went into that. Like, that's immediately how I felt.
It's a reaction.
The reaction was very much anger and resentment. So I have to do, you're trying to prevent going into that. I'm already in that and working my way out of it. So it's opposite, but it's.
We were hanging out.
Yeah.
Like anger and resentment. They were like, we were chilling for like a second, but like I was like, guys, gotta dip.
We need some space, bros.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I was like, what's up, motherfuckers? Let's fucking do this. You wanna go kick off a mailbox? Let's go kick off a mailbox.
It also helped I was in Disney.
That was
a good
100%.
That was a good like, well, I'm here, so I'm not gonna get up like at least I have Disney for
Yeah, I have Disney and Harry Potter World to go do in like 70-degree weather. So that's definitely a big plus.
Yeah.
Like I was dealing with gray rain in Maryland and I was like, fuck this. And they're like off on vacation. And I'm like, fuck you guys. Granted, they went to a colder place, but still, it's a change of scene.
That's true.
Change of scene, like regardless, as long as it's away from work, is almost always good. Like, unless you're going to fucking the middle of Montana in 4 feet of snow and you're like, I don't like this. Like, that's probably not great. But
yeah. All right. I think that's all we got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
What?
Thinking.
What's going on?
Do I have anything else? No.
No? All right. So, hey, what?
Oh, you're closing out?
I'm just going to talk about, our social media.
Oh, yeah.
And, please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast.
Yeah.
And we have a Patreon now. So if you would like to support us, you can do that through our Patreon. And please check out the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the Pinterest, as well as our YouTube channel.
And the website,
and
podcastrecovery.com.
Yeah.
That's always a good place to start.
But cool.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us share. Stay safe, stay clean out there.